78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And if you're digging the video, go ahead and share this joint. So the talk around the town right now is Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. I don't know why this topic is the topic that will never go away. Everybody loves this topic. Everybody loves the drama behind Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. Now, we all know Stephen A. Smith got Max Kellerman fired from ESPN First Take, got him kicked off the show, and had Max Kellerman move to a different show with who was it? Jay Williams and Keyshawn Johnson, and eventually ESPN let Keyshawn Johnson and Max Kellerman go. So Stephen A. Smith keeps being asked about this on every podcast he goes to, wherever people ask him, "Hey, what was going on with you and Max?" The man has explained several times that it wasn't nothing personal with Max Kellerman. It was just, that he didn't feel like he was a good fit for the show. All right, he didn't feel like him and Max was a good tandem. Now, I think that's a bunch of baloney. I don't believe Stephen A. Smith in that situation. I knew that there was tension between Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman around the time the Colin Kaepernick situation happened. When the Colin Kaepernick situation happened and the country is divided, along racial lines, looking at, some people understand what Colin Kaepernick's protest is about, okay? Racial injustice. Others say, I just want to watch football. I don't care about this. And then you had another section that say, Colin Kaepernick is a troublemaker. He's this and that. Same stuff they was doing back in the 60s. Bunch of racists, right? So that's what you had going on. So you had these three fractions of people, the country divided. Now, Stephen A. Smith, a black man, of course, is in a unique position. He's in a powerful position on ESPN, and you get to see him. He gets to say his ideas and stuff for the most part. And Stephen A. Smith is a not your typical black person on television. Most black people on TV are liberals. Okay, most of them are liberals. Stephen A. Smith is not really a liberal. Sometimes he has liberal positions, but Stephen A. Smith is basically a conservative. And Stephen A. Smith, not that I don't want to confuse conservative with like a sellout or nothing like that, because every black conservative is not a sellout. All right, you just got different views. But Stephen A. Smith does this little dance, right? It's this fine dance that we've been talking about on this channel since 2013, maybe even longer, I'm not sure. But Stephen A. Smith does this little dance he does, right? He wants to be black enough for the black audience, right? To keep his black card, if you will. And he wants to be just enough acceptable for white folks to like him and say, hey, that Stephen A's a special kind of guy. And that's Stephen A. And you got to give it to him, That's very insightful, that guy, Stephen A. Right? He tries to walk this balancing act, right? 1 foot over here, 1 foot over there. That's what he tries to do, right? And he doesn't, most of the time, he don't like offending white folks. He just don't. Stephen A. Smith, every once in a while, will take some strong position, and he sound like he's soul brother number one, right? And then the next day, 2 days later, he make up for it by taking some ridiculous position against black folks, kind of how he did with the whole Jeremy Lin situation. If y'all remember, there was an ESPN reporter or a writer who got in trouble for writing the headline of his article was "A Chink in the Armor," right? And people felt like that was a double entendre. He was taking a shot at Jeremy Lin trying to be funny, right? And Stephen A. Smith comes on ESPN, and you know who he blamed for that? He said he blamed black folks. Stephen A. Smith said, man, I blame black people for this. We so sensitive. We got other people being sensitive. He turned the whole segment into him bashing black folks. Like, what? But that's what I mean by the balancing act he does. See what I'm saying? One, he once he under criticism, he come to work the next day with his old Malcolm X, what I'm saying, cross colors jacket on or something like that. That he pulled out the closet from 1991. He wore this X jacket, this X hat. He's looking ridiculous. You know, that's what he do when he feeling less than soul brother. You know what I'm saying? This is the same man who says he wake up in the morning thinking about how he can make Massa happy. That's what he said, not me. But anyway, what his problem is with Max Kellerman is, while this Colin Kaepernick stuff was going on, Max Kellerman was taking the position that many people in the black community took and had. You know what I'm saying? Which was the NFL was wrong. So while Stephen A. Smith felt like he should be the expert on black issues since he's the black person on the panel, Max didn't see it that way. Max challenged Stephen A. Smith's way of thinking. Max, being more liberal, challenged Stephen A. Smith's way of thinking, and he stood for racial justice. Stephen A. Smith wanted to do the balancing act thing, and it just made him look bad when he's sitting up there with a white guy, and the white guy is sounding like he more down for the cause than the brother is. You see what I'm saying? So that led them to have Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens asked to be on the show. Terrell Owens asked Stephen A. Smith could he come on the show, and he bombed on him. Terrell Owens got on the show and said, "Man, I'm in the street, man, and Stephen A. It's almost like Max is blacker than you." Stephen A. Smith got very upset behind that comment. He got very upset because he knows it's true. He knows that people are saying that. He knows that is the way it looks. Now, of course, Max Kellerman can never be blacker than Stephen A. Smith. We're going to take that out of the equation right now. But I understood what T.O. was saying. T.O. was telling him, like, bro, you on the wrong side of this, right? You keep trying to find fault in Colin Kaepernick, and you keep trying to, be this, company man for the NFL, right? But Max is taking the proper position, right? So anyway, other things was getting on Stephen A. Smith's nerve as well. Max Kellerman is, well versed in hip hop, well versed, knows much more about hip hop than Stephen A. Smith does, which is makes Stephen A. Smith very uncomfortable because he's a brother. You know what I'm saying? And when Max Kellerman is referencing certain things and jumping in the middle of a sports segment, he started referencing a Biggie Smalls line from an obscure verse or something. Stephen A. Smith rolled his eyes and he don't know what he's talking about. It was even one segment I remember when who was it? It was a rapper. It was one of the Migos, I think. One of the Migos came on to ESPN First Take as a guest, and Kendrick Perkins was already a guest on there. So one of the Migos came by satellite or whatever, and Stephen A. Smith must not have known about this segment. He didn't know that Kendrick Perkins and was it Offset? I'm just gonna say Offset for the sake of argument. He didn't know that Kendrick Perkins and Offset had some back and forth on Twitter, right? Some little Twitter beef or whatever. Max Kellerman knew all about it because he followed hip hop. So Max Kellerman brings it up while Offset and Kendrick Perkins are on the show, and he bring it up. Stephen A. Smith is sitting there, just watch his face. You probably can find it on YouTube. He just looks so miserable. He's sitting there pouting like a child. He mad because he knows nothing about this beef, and then he even says it after the segment. He says he started pouting, right? Max tried to ask him a question. He pouting like he don't want to talk. And then Molly asked him a question. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know nothing about this. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Didn't know nothing about it." So I knew right then and there Max is gone. I said, Max is out of here. He gone. Like, Max is trying to be cordial with this dude. This dude's letting the whole world know he ain't messing with Max. He mad. He jealous because Max Kellerman is more down, quote unquote, right? More knowledgeable about things that you would assume Stephen A. Smith would be more knowledgeable about. And that's what irritated him. He don't want to, he got tired of being embarrassed, right? Stephen A. got tired of being embarrassed by the whole situation with Max Kellerman. And he just wanted this guy gone. and he tried to pretend. See, this is what I mean by the balancing act. Now, Stephen A. tried to pretend. He tried to trick you, right, and make you think, oh yeah, for get rid of the other man and get the brother man up in here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, ain't nobody finna say ain't nobody blacker than me. So then all of a sudden he got Kendrick Perkins on the show all the time. He got Jay Will on the show. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to make it real dark up in there to give you the impression, right? He trying to save his rep. See what I'm saying? But bro, come on. We know what it really is, Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? We know what it is. Once he disguised all of that, the brotherly love stuff, then he go get the old Mad Dog dude. He go get the artificial Skip Bayless, bring him on the show. So that's the real reason, bro. Everybody know this. I knew right away. If you watch that segment with I think it was Offset, one of the Migos, man. Quavo, maybe it was Quavo. I'm sorry, man. I ain't good with the Migos, you know what I'm saying, with their names and stuff. It might have been Quavo, not Offset, Quavo. So Quavo, look at that segment on ESPN's First Take. Just type in Quavo on ESPN First Take, and you'll see if they show the whole thing on YouTube, they might have deleted it, the ending, because they don't want you to hear Stephen A. Smith whining like a little, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I ain't know nothing about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, why is you pouting? Why is you letting everybody in the world know you didn't know nothing about this? Nothing happened. Ain't like they got into a fight or something. They squashed the beef or whatever. You mad because Max Kellerman keep up with this kind of stuff and you don't? It's pathetic, man. So at that moment, I said, yeah, Max is out of here. Adios, Max. And that's what happened. Stephen A. Smith got rid of him because Stephen A. Smith didn't like Max Kellerman showing him up when it comes to black issues. That's it, bro. That's the only reason. You know what I'm saying? All the rest of this stuff, he can handle Max in basketball talk. He can't see Max in boxing. He don't even try. But when it comes to basketball, football, he's confident he can smoke Max Kellerman. And even in political stuff, he wasn't very confident because Max is a educated dude. You know what I'm saying? Well spoken, and Max is a smart dude. You know what I'm saying? And his viewpoints are very liberal as compared to Stephen A. Smith, who has a lot of conservative viewpoints, and he could have used that to make a good show if they played on that. But Stephen A. Smith, just his ego wouldn't allow the other man to be looking like a better brother man than him. That's all it was. It's very simple. That's my opinion on the matter. 7A Sports TV, salute to the mighty LDBC. Shout out to my boy Ticket TV, man. Ticket wanted me to do a video about this. Ticket asked me to drop one about it, so salute to my brother. And much love, much appreciation. Smash that like button, ladies and gents. Turn on your notifications. I'm up out of here. Deuces.